All right, hey everybody. It's been a while, but welcome to the channel, Stage 4 Under 40. This channel exists just to kind of document our journey with cancer since I've been diagnosed with Stage 4 lung cancer, October 11th. And part of the reason why I wanted to also make these videos was just to kind of update our community who's been so supportive and loving, and so just so they know how we're doing, and we just want to acknowledge just how big that's been for us, just to see so many people that we love, family and friends, just walk alongside of us along this journey. Well, anyways, so if you want to stay up to date, subscribe. You'll get notifications when new posts come out. We want to do this more regularly, but we're finding it's quite challenging with all the stuff that's required with cancer, hospital visits, appointments, all that stuff, figuring out rhythms with medications, but also raising 3 kids, 4 and under. So it's been kind of hard to get around to recording these, but we want to make these more regular. So if you want to stay up to date, subscribe. For this episode, this is episode 2 or vlog number 2. I wanted to feature a special guest. This is my beautiful wife, Rachel, and I just wanted to kind of pick her brain and see what this experience has been like for her thus far. So, babe, you want to introduce yourself? I mean,
If you're watching, you probably know us already.
Yeah, to our 15 subscribers.
I think it's 48.
Our massive
It's
following.
48. Yeah, I'm Rachel. I'm married to this guy.
To this guy.
I think doing a video alone is probably easier than doing it together, right? Because I feel like we are very giggly and nervous. But hey,
This just feels very new.
This is the first video that we're doing together.
Yeah,
so,
that's pretty cool.
yeah.
Cool.
That's a new part of this journey. So
yeah, we're experiencing a lot of new things and first times together, so that's been cool. So let's jump into the question. So the question I wanted to ask was, what has this whole experience, it's pretty broad, but what has this experience been like for you? Kind of open-ended question, but even more specifically, what was it like when you first heard the news? Like, what was your reaction? How did that news first hit you on October 11th when you found out? We were in the same room. The doctor revealed that I had stage 4 cancer. Well, did they know that it was stage 4? They did.
yeah, they do.
They did, yeah.
It was, even as you're asking, my eyes are welling up, but it was the hardest news, I think, that I've ever received in my 30 years of life. I think it was like getting a death sentence immediately. Yeah, it was heart-wrenching, heartbreaking, earth-shattering.
Yeah, the way it was conveyed to us is basically like, here's the time you have left before you die. So it's very much like a death sentence.
Yeah, because one of the doctors gave you
a certain time frame. Yeah. It was very sobering.
Right.
Yeah.
Which our oncologists now say, like, we don't know.
Right.
Let's not go on any time frame.
Right.
Yeah. It felt like my world fell apart. And then there was a piece of, like, immediately I think I went into denial, like, no, we came here for, you know how I like to diagnose you myself at home, right? So I already had a diagnosis for him, and that was gallbladder issues, which is actually really close to his liver, which is where the cancer had spread, which is why he had pain in his
area,
in his right abdomen. But I thought after 10 minutes of that doctor leaving, who told us the diagnosis, that they'd come back and say, I am so sorry for
Mm-hmm.
the pain we've caused you in the last 10 minutes. But we take that diagnosis back,
Mm-hmm.
and it's, we got to take you into surgery because
Mm-hmm.
you have gallstones.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of it was denial at
Mm-hmm.
first.
Mm-hmm.
And then since then, things have slowed down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like there was a lot of emotional intensity early on.
Yeah,
Like
not
even
many
once we
people
came
get
home,
diagnosed at the
yeah.
ER with stage 4
Right.
cancer. So,
Right, it was very intense. Very high emotions.
yeah. So that's how it hit me first.
Yeah.
But since then,
Yeah.
I
How
think
how have
we've-
you been since?
I think that currently the way I operate is, while I know you do have stage 4 cancer, and you know that we can't try to pretend that that's not there, and
Mhm.
the statistics are bleak, and so while I know all those facts,
Mhm.
you know, we're still fighting.
Mhm.
You know, reading books,
Mhm.
some integrative stuff.
Mhm. Yeah, you do the opposite of a victim's mentality, where you like research everything. You try to figure out how do I deal with this? How do I figure this out? How do I find solutions? You're more of a doer, problem solver than I'm just gonna think about this and feel sorry for myself. So in some ways, the first few weeks, especially during chemo, I'm just totally out of it. And you basically are just fighting for me and advocating for me. So yeah, you've been reading a ton. You've been parenting a ton. Yeah, you've been figuring out nutrition. So you've been a fighter since then, and we've had a lot of people outside just our marriage, outside of our family, fighting for us as well. So yeah, do you ever like feel like self-pity or anything like that? Have you ever experienced that, or just sense of like, why me, or victims mentality, or just too busy, like,
No.
I got parenting to do, I got books to read, I got to figure this out, I got to figure out what's the best diet to be on?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say self-pity. I think what really rings true to me, I once read this, I don't know, was it quote? The only person that died unjustly, the only single person who ever died unjustly was Jesus. And I think
That's really
we
good.
have the mentality of we deserve to have a good life. We deserve to have a healthy and safe life. But we don't.
Right.
And while I know Jesus knows suffering more than anybody, God knows suffering more than anybody, and he hates cancer, I also know this isn't the end. So yeah, no, I wouldn't say there's self-pity.
That's actually a really powerful quote. I read something today where it said, it was from Matt Chandler. He says, no one dies early. This notion that we deserve a long life, and that when someone dies young, they died early. And he says, this was amazing. He says, no one dies early. Nothing can touch me until God says so, or something like that. Nothing can touch me, and I won't go home until God, God wills that. So yeah, it was just very, very, very powerful. It what you said reminded me of that quote. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Was that the end?
So.
Oh, okay. And here's the next question. We'll keep this one shorter.
Yeah.
What's something that you always thought about doing or wanted to do, but it was more of a wish list category, but now that you have cancer, it's kind of changed your perspective on life? and you're just like, I want to go for it. I want to do something that I always thought was a dream category, but now we're going to do in the next year or something. Is there anything like that for you?
Well, since we had kids, we put like a lot of the traveling to the
Vacation.
back burner.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Just because traveling with young kids is hard.
Right. So where would you want to travel to?
Well, I know you wanted to go to like a national park.
National parks. I really want to go to national park. I don't think I've been to one national park.
I guess not.
I guess not. So there's Yosemite, there's Grand Canyon, there's Yellowstone. These have been dream categories for us, things we wanted to do, but kind of holding back on while our kids are infants and toddlers. So here's a question: where would you want to go for a first one? Do you have a clear preference in mind?
No, I don't.
All right, so we'd love to ask you guys. We haven't been to any of these parks. We want to go to a national park in 2020. Even with 3 kids, at that point, we'll be 4, 5, and under. Please give us recommendations. Each park is so big too. So if you've been to a park and you know what's the best area of the park to go check out, we'd love to hear that in those comments. So help us out. This is probably our one shot to go to national park next year, and we need some inside tips.
And if you have any good vegan or vegetarian recipes, please bring them on.
Yes, I've been switching to a healthier diet, less processed foods. So if you have recommended dishes that taste good,
to a carnivore.
To a carnivore. I've always been a carnivore, so it's got to pass that taste test. Please let us know in the comments. Well, we love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Peace out.